What's good, y'all, and welcome to my review for this week's episode of the 1,000-Year Blood War and finally, a week where I don't got other shit to do. Well, I do actually have Crown Jewel today, and it's gonna start in like 4 minutes, so, I'm not completely having the day all to myself to just record the video and get it out. There'll be a slight delay probably, but thankfully it's a special start time, so hopefully it won't take too long for me to get the video up for you guys. But, yeah, man, this episode, we finally got to see Chair-sama in its full glory. It was nice to see Chair-sama make his return. Grimjow is back as well. We've seen teases of him, obviously, in Core 1 and Core 2. But this is when my man's finally about to start fucking some shit up, man. And I'm honestly excited for that, man. I can't wait to hear David in this episode. And of course, Kyle Hebert as Aizen when the dub of this episode drops. We got some Lily Toto in there with sauce and some Jeremy for me. You love to see it. And yeah, man, this is a fantastic episode, man. Definitely more dialogue, definitely slower. Definitely after the massive animation, this was definitely the episode they were cutting some corners on with some of the certain, but like the episode didn't look bad, but there were definitely some still frames here and there. This was like the episode they were cutting corners on. Understandably so, of course, how big the last episode was. But yeah, man, let's just jump right into the actual episode. So we start the episode off right where we left off last week with Yuha absorbing the Soul King and jumping back over to the Soul Society. Of course, everything is out of whack, as we see in the Department of Research Development. We also see these creatures falling from the Soul Palace back to the Serete as they're trying to get rid of them. Now these creatures, as far as I know, did not get a name or what there are yet. I'm sure later on down the core, we'll probably learn what these creatures are and how they relate to Yuha and like his power set or whatnot. I'm sure we'll get an explanation for it sometime later on the core, but for right now, you guys know I'm an anime only. I have no idea who these creatures are or what these things are. But yeah, they start infecting the Serete. Soifon uses her Bankai to take out a huge chunk of them, which is nice to see her actually use the rocket launcher again. Because if you guys remember the anime, the original Bleach anime, y'all know how apprehensive she was of ever using her Bankai. Now she's been using it a little bit more, which I see, because it's also cool as well. That's a giant rocket launcher. But yeah, I also think there was a good chunk of this where these creatures were CGI, it looks like, in parts. Probably were. I'm not entirely sure, because there was also another thing later in the episode that looked like it was CGI with the effects were with Aizen's powers. That looked like it might have been CGI there as well, or it could have been hand drawn, I'm not entirely sure. But either way, it looked really good as you see these creatures just start to affect places. And this is definitely the low priority of the episode where the team decided to step back, relax a little bit, cut some corners, especially after the massive episode that last week was. Because as all this is going on, we get like 3 still frames of like the creatures like getting onto various Soul Reapers and just running amok. Now, you guys know me. I am not the type of person that says, "Oh my God, still frames." Ugh. Still frames are not inherently bad. They can be used as a stylistic choice, as Dawn to Dawn has definitely been used more as a stylistic choice. And Hiroaki was like that as well as Season 4. You guys know what the fight with Mirio and Overhaul at the end of it. Now, obviously this was not, I think we all agree this was obviously not a stylistic choice, but just, just for the sake of the team, man. Because like I said, last week was a very animation heavy episode with some amazing cuts. This episode did have some good cuts as well, but this was definitely, given the material, was definitely a lot less action focusing really required or variation. So this was definitely the episode where the team could cut corners and get away with it. but like I said, we do get a really nice cut like right after this with Shuhei, Juichiro, and Yumichika all like taking down these creatures that looked really good as well. This cut looked really good. Before we get over to Byakuya using Zenpo and Sakura to take out a bunch of them once again, then we see like this massive this massive blob of a bunch of them coming towards them that is then destroyed by Aizen's spiritual pressure. And man, it is so good to have Aizen back, man. Hearing his voice again, we'll finally see Chair-sama in its full glory, man. So that was fucking awesome to see. As Aizen tells him, why waste time swatting them with a sword when you can crush them with your spirit's presence? We see like one of the creatures got stuck underneath this chair and then blows up eventually. As Aizen tells him this, man. I cannot wait to hear this in the dub, man. With Kyle, man. Oh, it's gonna sound incredible. So after the OP, we're back to we're back with Aizen, where Aizen actually congratulates Rukia for making lieutenant and saying that he's happy for her after she's been promoted after her distinguished service. So shout out to Aizen for recognizing Rukia, for recognizing Rukia like that. You love to see it. You love to see it. And of course, Rukia is pissed, is wondering why the hell Aizen is freed. He tells him why he's here. He tells him his sentence has been lifted. She's like, what? I'm positive under whose authority? Shuhei comes in there and tells him that it was his call and that he decided that they needed his help. Of course, everybody else in the team, everyone else here, Yumachika, Ikaku, who we got some decent dollars this episode, so we'll get to hear some Todd happen for this episode, which is great to see. So yeah, like Todd, like not Todd, Ikaku, you know, Shuhei, Renji, Byakuya, Soifun, none of them are happy by this. None of them are absolutely Ikaku says that he can go along with this. Soifun says what a disgrace. Like I said, nobody is happy by this. And Shunsui asks him this is about defending their own honor. And he tells them that honor is not going to help him save the world. And according to him, he does not believe that using evil to defeat evil is inherently an evil act. And then Aizen asks him if he can finally get these restraints off his hand and get him out of Chair-sama, but Shunsui tells him no. And then Aizen tells Shunsui that you expect me to get rid of all of them while sitting down. And Shuhei tells him, Shunsui, tells him that he's pretty sure that he can pull this off. And Aizen tells you're giving me too much credit. Right now I don't have enough that kind of power. And then Shunsui tells him that I wasn't taught whether or not you have the power. I just figured that you're not the type of guy to just sit quietly and watch while these eyeball monsters try to gnaw at your body. That's all. So then we see them coming right on top of where Aizen is. I don't know if it was plays right under the hole or not, but basically they just come right towards him. We see there's this barrier or force field around Aizen because we see they hit apart a little bit over the chair before they hit it, and then they start sliding downwards, completely avoiding both Aizen and Shunsui. And then we see these lightning bolts popping up purple, which like I said, which look great, but I couldn't tell if they were CG or hand drawn. Where they look kind of makes me think it might be CG, but it could be hand drawn, just how it's look. Either way, we see these lightning bolts around Aizen as Shunsui tells everyone to retreat back to the lab as Aizen uses Hado number 90, Koro Hitsugi, which you guys may remember. I believe Koro Hitsugi was the same Hado he tried to use on Ichigo when he was in his Dangai form in the Fake Karakura, which Ichigo just instantly broke out of. I'm pretty sure this is the same Hado. I could be wrong though. It could be a different one. But either way, man, this looked amazing as we see the Hado build and build. I'm pretty sure this was all CG, but this could have been hand-drawn, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was completely CG. He forms of the Hado basically right under the hole. Then we cut to Shuhei and to Shunsui and the others back inside. Once again, Byakuya is unhappy about working with Aizen, as he tells him that it's an insult to us all. And then once they come back outside, all the monsters are cleared out in the area around Aizen. And and some of the guys are kind of surprised that the chair is still standing. Aizen tells them it's built the same way as the cross in Muken, and that it's quite a chair. And of course, that's why everyone calls this chair Chair-sama, I assume, is because of how sturdy it is. And then Aizen tells him that those things were part of Yuha's powers, and that's probably from him trying to absorb the Soul King's power, and he's going to need some time to fully absorb everything. And then I think it was Shunsui telling him about getting back to work on getting back to the Soul Palace, and then Aizen. This clip right here really just shows you just how OP Aizen is, really. It's once he absorbed the Hogyoku, especially just with the extra few years it's been or whatnot, he spent inside prison. And we found out later in the episode they mentioned, to skip ahead a little bit, they mentioned how apparently Aizen, or at least it's hinted at, or it's insinuated at, that Aizen got even stronger during his time in prison. He didn't get any weaker. And once we learn more about the chair, how it works, how it more or less suppresses his soul, spiritual pressure, to where it just goes around his body rather than just going all over the place. That could be probably also suppressing its power in some capacity, because kind of they were also with Mayuri would mention that also does or maybe not Mayuri, but Shunsui or one of those characters mentioned that it also slightly is suppressing his spiritual pressure, not by much, but it's definitely suppressing bits of it. But anyway, as I was saying, so even if we ever saw Aizen without the chair, which judging from Jump Force and he's a playable character makes me think that we'll probably eventually see him out of the chair. Maybe I'm not entirely sure, considering he wasn't Junk Force, a playable character in Junk Force. I do wonder that means we will see him out of the chair, you know, with his sword and everything, actually like throwing down with Yuha or something. That would be sick, not gonna lie. But I guess we'll have to wait and see if that ever happens. Anyway, as I was saying, Aizen tells them that if they have business with the royal palace, he'll just shoot it down for them. And this episode, Raven Luke tries to shoot it down, and that Chair-sama keeps his spiritual pressure towards only around us by not being able to shoot all the way up to destroy the Soul Palace, which I think we all can know from one episode that if he wasn't restrained by Chair-sama, he probably could bring down the entire Soul Palace or have it crash landing towards him. Which honestly, bro, we actually got to see the man. He wasn't in like chair. He got managed to do that outside when he wasn't restrained by Chair-sama, man. I would have loved to have seen that, because man, that would have been nuts if we could actually like take down the Soul Palace and bring it back down to the Serete. Anyway, Shunsui tells him that that doesn't restrain his spiritual pressure, just only keeps it near his body, and that he's looking towards looking at the embodiment of society technology has some respect. And then this is when Mayuri comes in there, once again reiterating about Chair-sama, about restraining his spiritual pressure to along his body, and he tells him, like, did you really think your power would exceed my technology? And then he doesn't care if he could take down the royal palace now, but he would be humiliated if he did it while he was under his restraints. Aizen tells him to put it to maximum to see what's stronger, Chair-sama's restraints or his own power. And then Aizen gets struck by some attack, and we find out it is one of the Stern Ritters that is still alive. It's not Bosby, the other ones that we saw. I'm pretty sure we didn't get this dude that wasn't shown off in court at the end of court 2 if he had survived or not. But I forgot the dude's name, but he's voiced by Zena Robinson in the dub. So we'll get some more extra screen time with him, so that's always a plus. And you know, he's going off about like, I'm not gonna let you take down the spirit, I'm not gonna let you take down the Soul Palace while your Majesty's in there. Your spiritual pressure is full of holes. It actually manages to make Aizen pass out, which we found later on the episode. Later on, that was for 5 minutes, and Aizen himself says that was the first time he'd ever been unconscious or been subdued by someone for 5 minutes. So yeah, either Aizen was really had his guard down, or this dude is actually surprisingly powerful. Anyway, so he continues, like I said, he waffles on about not letting to destroy the Soul Palace while His Majesty is in there. We also see Giselle, Lily Toto, and Bosby all there with him, and it looks like they're about to fight. And we also see Giselle's zombie army show as well. So it seems like we're gonna have a fight with these guys going up against these remaining Stern Ritters. But Bosby then kills the black dude, and he's like, and then, bro, man, did this man have one hell of a fall? This man just splats on the ground, man. It was not a pretty sight. And so Bosby tells him that the Wandenrich, if I pronounce it right, I am not German, exists in the shadow of the Soul Society, exists within the shadow of the Serete, so they can't let him just Yuha destroy the Serete. This is when Bosby announces they want to work together, and but they're not going to do it for free. And Lily Toto, which was good that he's seen that she was in the episode as well, meaning I'm going to get some more Jeremy this episode with the dub air. So that's a W. A lot of W's this episode, man. Apparently there was like a lot of leaks with this episode as well. There was like leaks there. I remember Platinum tweeting about it. I believe yesterday and the day before, mentioning about complaining about all the Bleach leaks that were out there. I thankfully didn't see any of them on my feed. They never popped up for me, but I heard a lot of people mention that that there were leaks everywhere, and they were leaks all around for this episode. Man. I'm glad I didn't see it, because with all the returns we got here, man, was definitely glad that I was able to watch this spoiler free. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Is definitely one of the episodes I'm looking most forward to, just so we can hear David again, Kyle again, and of course some more Charity. You guys know how much I love her. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Lily Toto then tells them that they want a ceasefire, that they won't get in their way, and then neither will they let the other Stern Ritters either. And Bosby declares that they're going to kill Yuha for abandoning them, and he also tells them to bring them to the Soul Palace with them so they can kill Yuha. Then we get our first glimpse at Grimmjow chilling behind the gate thing. I forget what the barrier went through, like transporting from one area to open the portal. I forget what this whole thing was called. It's where like Ichigo went from Hueco back to the world living in fake Karakura Town. I forget what this whole area is called, but he's just chilling out there, man. Drip the fuck out. This is when Shuhei makes the message just been like clawing all the remaining Soul Reapers out there to get back over to the Department of Research and Development so they can borrow their spiritual pressure. We get some cameos from previous characters, and we see the guy that is actually the one, that's looking protecting Afro Dude. We see him. We see 2 characters from Core 1, so that was pretty cool. They actually got a little bit of screen time. So yeah, that'll be cool to see them some more. And then eventually we get back, eventually all the Soul Reapers found to get there, man. We get this wide shot of a bunch of them, which is of course all of them really CGI. And I'm 90% certain they reuse a few character models here, because I'm noticing some similar faces in this. I'm pretty sure they reuse some character models to beef it up a little longer. Kenpachi shows up again, once again asking where the hell Yachiru is. They continue on looking, but there's still no word. And it seemed like Kenpachi was going to just search for himself, but Issei gets in his way and tells him that the others will find him faster when he go by himself, and that they need his power. And now it's enough for Kenpachi to stick around. Then we see Shuhei make this whole speech about us going into the final battle to stop Yuha at all costs. The guitar riff that was playing right around here, man, was absolutely just amazing, man. Seriously. The music of this episode, man, was phenomenal. There's this part right here with the sick guitar, then there's like another part a little bit later on with this other guitar riff, man. Like, I don't know if these are both new tracks or these are from the original anime. I'm not sure. Either way, they're both banger tracks. If you guys know what the song, if you guys know these songs or have already been released on Spotify or not, definitely leave it down below in the comments. Anyway, as they continue onward, Hiyori and Lisa and the crew Shineless show up, and of course we get to watch some of Hiyori and Shinji arguing, which is always a plus, man. Man, it just sucks that both Shinji and Hiyori have both been recast from Laura Bailey and Roger Craig Smith to Anares and Absolute. They're both pretty good, but it just ain't the fucking same, man. I wish this shit was. To be fair, even if it was on a Union contract, there's a good chance Laura Bailey still wouldn't have come back, because she just doesn't do anime much that nowadays. So even if she did come back, even if it was Union, she probably still wouldn't have returned, but at the very least, we would have gotten Roger. But you know, it is what it is. This was a pretty fun sequence. And she's like calling Shinji baldy, and he's like showing her his hairline that he's not bald. And then she like insults his hair, that she's ignoring the loud one with the bowl cut, and then tries to pin it on Soifon. I love the key animation here, just Shinji's expressions, man. It's fucking hilarious, man. This was amazing. Anyway, she dumps this stuff on the floor, which is actually like the stuff that they found that was chilling in the world of the living, that the substance that formed in the distortion between the world of the living and the Serete. So basically use that as like, I guess, like to help them ignite the barrier or whatever. And then he tells them, Urahara tells them that their Shihakushos are ready to go. And of course, Hiyori's like, what the fuck? It like loves like, got it, just picks her up and walks away with her, because Hiyori, she don't want to wear no Shihakusho, but Love convinces her to get her to put it on, as we see later on the episode. It's gonna be cool to see her in a Shihakusho again. I am very curious. We are gonna get like this Avengers Endgame level, just like final battle with all the Soul Reapers fighting each other, and then like all that's going on there, Ichigo and Yuha will be fighting off in the distance or something. I don't know if that's the case, man, but I'm hyped. But I'm hyped for what this sets up for the rest of the core, and I'm assuming the final core as well. We get back to Aizen and Shuhei, or Shunsui. I always get their names mixed up. Tells that as he tells him, "Wow, you can move now." And Aizen tells him, "Move. To say I can move would be misleading." And then Aizen tells him, like, "Now is your chance to kill me." Shunsui knows that that's bullshit, and that if it was that easy to kill Aizen, he would have done it ages ago. And then Aizen mentions that was the first time he's ever been immobilized for 5 minutes. Before we cut back over to Urahara and the other ones, as the barrier is now ready to set them off, to the Soul Palace. And like I said, once again, the guitar riff that was playing here, man, absolutely fantastic. Anyway, as the gate opens up, we see this one shot of with Bosmi and Renji once again, or it seems like once again they're talking about Renji's eyebrows while Rukia is just looking at him absolutely just with absolute contempt in her eyes. I love Renji and Bosmi, man. These two are awesome. Anyway, we then hear from Aizen talking about that it's ironic that the man that defeated would enter the Soul Palace before him. You are really an insufferable man. Because we get this amazing shot of Aizen right before we cut back over to our boy Ichigo, and first and foremost, I gotta say, man, goddamn, did Orihime look so goddamn cute in this part of the episode, man. Good God almighty, I would love to know who was doing the key animation for her, Jersey, because she just looks so beautiful here, man. So she almost faints for a hot second. Ichigo, of course, catches her gently, and then she wakes up and comes back up and tells her that she's just hungry right now because she's been healing everyone nonstop. And interesting, and then we also find, this is also when Colin shows back up again. He gets some dogs. So once again, we also get some Quinn Flynn in this episode. And so, which actually, did y'all know that Quinn Flynn's actually living in Ohio now? I didn't know this. Funny story, because you guys know election states coming around, VAs are all around, have been showing pictures that they voted. You know, I've Brina Palencia's posted something, Caitlin posted something, I think. Tons of boys are posted about them that they have. Erica Limbeck posted something on her Instagram as well that they posted about her voting. They all posted a thing about voting, and Quentin Flynn was one of them. Now, but his vote featured Ohio on it, the state of Ohio on it. So yeah, he lives in Ohio now, which would explain why I've heard him in nothing besides Bleach recently. Reprising his role as Colin. I haven't seen any anime, no games. Everything he's become in it now has just been reprisal at this point, along with doing conventions and all that shit. But yeah, I guess that's why he's living in Ohio now. He is away from LA, where all the anime voiceover is at when it's on Dallas or New York or whatnot. But yeah. Anyway, funny little story there, man. I was like, so that's why I haven't heard anything that isn't Bleach or reprisals. Anyway, Colin show, we see Colin, man, and as Orihime tells us that he went muscular form to help out Ichigo while he was falling. Now, the interesting thing, and I saw this on Twitter after I finished up the episode, that I thought was interesting, because as you guys may know, with the Bloodworm, man, they've been adding tons of additional content to this episode to spruce up the lore and get everything back to what Kuma really originally wanted to show, but couldn't due to his health in the 1,000-year Bloodworm manga. But they've also been cutting back on some of the material from the manga, mostly just the more comedic stuff, like the thing with Rukia's ass in the hot spring. There was a scene where Yoruichi was introduced a little bit earlier than she ended up being in the anime, where her arm was shooting upwards through Orihime's tits or whatnot. They've been cutting some of the more comedic bits, I'm assuming for better pacing, which I could definitely agree on, man, because there's one thing that the original Bleach anime would kind of be a little iffy at times, is definitely tone and pacing, where you'll have this serious moment in the original anime, and then very next there's this comedic moment right after for a solid 2 or 3 minutes it goes on, man. Sometimes they're funny, I don't really mind, but sometimes there have been a couple of them where I'm like, why is this here? This kind of just kills the tone of it. I was like, if there was ever a Bleach remake made, this would probably get cut. So, and this was one of those scenes where we actually got to see Kon go into his muscular form. We also got this headbutt between Ichigo and Orihime. Now, that getting replaced with this moment was obviously the right choice, because this is way cuter and way better of an Ichihime moment than that was. So I'm glad they made the cut and they went with this instead, with this nice little cute wholesome moment with Ichigo and Orihime. But yeah, Orihime mentioned about the muscular thing, and then everyone prays for Kon because they think he's dead. Kon is alive and well, and then Ichigo grabs him and everything, and Kon thanks him. He's like, that's the wrong way, you're supposed to beat me up so I can gain sympathy. This is when we get the title card for the episode shows up, man, as Grimmjow finally makes his appearance, man. I am so hyped to see, man, fuck shit up whenever he comes back. We then get a post-credit scene where once again we see UI has now officially fully taken absorbed the power of the Soul King, and that is when the episode ends. Also, guys, you guys know for the final shot in every episode, they always have this one shot after the credits and everything roll with the EV playing, and it's brownish color with some of the colors popping in there. It always looks cool. But for the shot for this episode, man, was this actually in the episode? I remember when I watched it originally, I didn't see it, and then when I went through it again, right before I started recording, I didn't see it again. Am I just an idiot and I blink and miss when the shots, or is this an unused Genga that they decided to use here for this part of the episode? Man, I don't know. It looks really great, man. I kind of wish it wasn't the episode if it wasn't original, because it's a really nice shot. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. This was a fantastic episode, man. Overall, I'd give this episode a 9 out of 10, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me if you feel like it. Link, subscribe below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.